Hey guys, so you had watched the video and you've seen some examples of Bernice Abbott's artwork. We saw how she did different photography and she did scientific photography. We have a couple of projects we're going to work on today that emulate some of the photography that she had done. So first, we're going to start with water ripples, and we are going to do them as raindrops. And I have a few different ways that we're going to do this. First of all, one of them is a crayon resist with markers. The other one is with watercolors. Now the crayon resist with the markers is a little bit harder to see. There we go. From far away, but up close you can see where the crayon, the wax in the crayon did that resist. It pushed the color away, and because our markers are a water base, all it takes is water to make them bleed and the colors to move. Remember, watercolors and our water-based markers, the color is going to move wherever there's water. So we have a few different ways that we're going to do this. First of all, we are going to start with our water ripples, and I'm going to show you this in two different ways. One, I did mine on both of my examples in white. However, watch. If I'm drawing with white on my paper, you can't see it. So you may go ahead and use your white crayon on your white paper or your oil pastel. I'm going to use a light blue, and I'm going to draw very, very lightly. So I'm going to start with one at a time. First of all, we want our horizon line. That's what separates our sky from our ground. So with my horizon line, with my blue, or if you're working with your white, go ahead, draw it a little bit thicker. Now, our rain is going to come from the sky down to the ground. Where it hits the ground is where it's going to ripple. And as you can see, our ripples look more like ovals. When we look at them sideways, rather than them being perfectly circle, they're more oval shaped. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with a ripple and add the raindrop. So I have where it starts, one or two circles around it. Now you can decide, do you want your ripple or your raindrop to come straight down or more at an angle? Get down. Sorry, my cat's gonna knock my computer over. So from here, I'm gonna add my rain up off my page. Now, add as many as you would like. Start with that raindrop, two of them, and my raindrop that comes up. Can fill your page. You could add just a few of them. So I'm going to do some with my white crayon because I want you to see the magic of how it appears. As you draw with your white crayon, you know that you can see it. We've done some of these in class before, and because we're going to do both the watercolor with our resist and the marker with our resist, I'm going to do some of the white on both. A little tricky because I broke my white crayon. Now, if you want, you can also go in and add some extra rain. Some of them may not land in puddles. Some of our rain may just land on the ground, so it's okay to have those few extra raindrops. So now the fun part, we're gonna do our resist. Remember, the wax in the crayon is what pushes the paint away, so this is why it works as a resist. I'm going to start with my markers. So one of the fun things with my markers is I made storm clouds right over top of my crayons. So I have some big, dark storm clouds. Can make them super, super thick. I can go in with my other colors. So my sky colors, I'm not really going to color. I'm going to kind of lightly scribble, and we don't usually do this, but you can see how much that color bleeds. Now I'm also going to go ahead and go over some of my raindrops because that color is going to go all over. From there, I'm going to use some purple because that's a watercolor also. I'm going to go over my horizon line and a little bit on my ground because I have all of my water. We're going to add some of that to the ground as well. So that's what I'm going to do for my resist. So while I'm working on painting this one, we're going to watch this one go. Two ways to do it. One, your water and your brush. You can brush over it. And notice how I'm adding lots of water and working in circles. Or, the fun way, just spray it. As you spray it, remember the trick is, I'm going to lay that down flat on my table. And I'm going to not touch it. You can see it start to bleed right away as soon as those colors get wet. But the fun thing is the longer it sits, the more those colors move around and the less what you drew shows up and the more all of those colors move in together. You can use your finger to move them around. We did that with our Kandinsky as well. So here's my other one, my watercolor or watered down paints, which means water. Always water first. So water and a little drop of paint. And I'm going to make some storm clouds. I'm going to add more water because I don't need them to be quite that dark. Notice when I add water, I'm getting lots of water and I'm not wiping it off on the side. I want all of that water on my paper. And wash my brush and pick up some blue. Let's add some blue to that and move that around. Water. Notice how I can go right from there all the way down. And you can see how adding that water moves the color, but it does not cover up our crayon. So even the ones I added with the blue so that you could see the drops that we were drawing, I like how that blue shows up with that darker purple. It's a little hard to see on the video, but it comes out pretty bright. It's kind of like when we do the videos at school. It's not always as clear up front, but it's easier to see later. So those are my water droplets. I'm going to go ahead and let that sit even a little bit longer right there. I'm going to take a picture once it's all bled out so you can see how much that color actually moves. So I hope you guys have fun making your rain droplets just like Bernie Sabat did hers with her rings of water. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. All right,